Welcome everyone to this week's Texas Roadhouse press conference. I'd like to start off this press conference welcoming Brian DeGrucci as our new Assistant Sports Information Director. Woo! It is a very busy week in athletics this week. Today and tomorrow, men's and women's golf are in Laredo at the Jack Brown Memorial. Wednesday is National Signing Day for football, so very busy days, as a lot of you know. Thursday, men's and women's basketball are back home for a huge doubleheader against Oklahoma Christian, with the women tipping off at 5:15. At halftime during the men's game, we will be honoring the 3.0 club for every student that received a 3.0 or higher GPA during the fall semester. Friday, softball has a doubleheader, has two games. They play Oklahoma Baptist up in Lubbock at 12:15. And then at 7 o'clock, they'll play Nebraska at Kearney. Men's and women's tennis will be in Midland and take on New Mexico Military Institute at 1 p.m. And baseball is in Stephenville to take on Tarleton starting at 2 o'clock. Saturday, men's and women's tennis is in Midland to take on the University of the Southwest. Softball takes on New Mexico Highlands at 12:15. And then we'll take on Chadron State at 2:30 up in Lubbock. Baseball plays Tarleton again at 2 o'clock in the second game of their three-game series. And men's and women's basketball will take on University of Arkansas Fort Smith, with the women tipping off at 2 p.m. And then on Sunday, softball has two more games in Lubbock. They got a really busy weekend. They take on Newman at 1 o'clock and Southern Nazarene at 3. And baseball wraps up their series with Tarleton in Stephenville at 1 p.m. Starting off today's press conference will be head men's basketball coach Josh Newman, whose Falcons return home for a pretty big week in terms of conference standings.
Woo! Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Truthfully, pretty disappointing week for us last week. Had a chance to go on the road and play at Eastern New Mexico and at West Texas, and unfortunately for us, we didn't play very well on Thursday for stretches. I thought in the second half we kind of turned a corner, took an early lead, and then the one thing that's kind of been reoccurring for our team is not taking care of the ball. And we turned the ball over in some huge pivotal positions or sometimes in the game, and unfortunately we just weren't able to overcome those. And that's kind of been one of the things that unfortunately we've done consistently now. We're shooting almost 50% from the field. I think we're at 47%, but we're turning the ball over. And like I told the guys, and have continued to tell the guys, when you turn it over, that's one less chance we have to score. And we're almost scoring at 50%, so every one of those turnovers, two turnovers, we're going to score on one of them. So it's just something we've got to continue to kind of evaluate, continue to figure out how to value the ball a little bit more. At West Texas, I thought in the first, out the gate, first half, we were playing really well, and then unfortunately we started making some poor decisions, shot selection, defensively we weren't where we were supposed to be, and then we also had more turnovers. And I think they scored 30-something points off of our turnovers, and give them a lot of credit. That's why right now they're 21-1 and number 2 in the country. They capitalized on mistakes, and we just had too many mistakes in that game.
And Coach, y'all shot 13% from the three-point line against West Texas. Do you think that shooting woes kind of affects how y'all play on defense?
Oh, I think so. I think for us, unfortunately, right now is our shot selection. I mean, we can make shots. It's just, are we taking good shots or bad shots? And that percentage is low when you take bad shots. And a lot of the times, those shots come a little bit too early. They come when we're trying to execute a play, or we need to get a basket just to kind of stop the flow from the other team. And unfortunately, we're just not making great decisions at this time with our shots and with the turnovers.
Coach Pat, he had a really good game against Eastern New Mexico, getting to the 500-point club, but I mean, if you look down the roster, he's been scoring the most points, very productive. Is there anything that you saw that's kind of changed with Pat, or I guess the rest of the team, in terms of kind of having that support to help back him up in the scoring category?
Well, we're really good when we're balanced scoring. You look at the biggest wins we've had this year is at Dallas Baptist and at Commerce, and we had more balanced scoring than ever before. So that's something that we're talking to him consistently about, is making the right play. Sometimes the right play is for him to shoot it. Sometimes the right play is for him to simply pass it to the right guy to make the next pass. So it's still for him. It's kind of, carrying the scoring load, but at the same time making the right play, which a lot of times is going to be off the pass. So we've got to get other guys to step up. We've got to get the ball moving a little bit more consistently. He has the ball in his hands the majority of the time, so we're asking him to do a lot, score and facilitate. And I think this weekend we're going to need to make sure he facilitates a little bit more to help us be successful.
Coach, I'm going to skip Oklahoma Christian here.
Oh, sure you are.
Since you get to play Fort Smith this Saturday, so what's that going to be like for you?
Well, I'm not going to skip over Oklahoma Christian because that's the first
We can
one.
go back to them.
Okay, we can go back to them. I don't know. There's a lot of young men on that roster that we recruited. It's somewhere that, my family and myself, we worked for 12 years. Daniela was born in Arkansas. She has Arkansas ties, and it's going to be probably an emotional game, maybe more for my family than me. I think once the game starts, it's like any other game, but it'll be a little bit different seeing them down there. I think next year will be completely different when I have to go there and sit on the visitor stands. But I don't know, it's just another game for us, honestly. We're right now trying to position ourselves for the conference tournament, and these are two huge games for us. To make sure we can solidify our spot and then potentially move up into the round that the teams that get to host a game.
You can go back to Oklahoma Christian now if you want.
Yeah, so that's the most important game right now on our schedule is Oklahoma Christian. They're playing well. They're going to play 40 minutes of zone. That's something we haven't seen this year. So we're going to have to make sure that we don't shoot 13% from behind the arc, or it's going to be a long night for the Falcons. It's a game that we've got to prepare a lot for because it's something like I said, we haven't seen in a long time. So we're going to dust off the zone offense right now today and get after it and make sure that we're completely comfortable facing that zone for 40 minutes.
Over the past couple of weeks, Fernandez has been getting a little bit more minutes, kind of taking over the minutes of Elvin a little bit. Is that something that you're going to continue to do, or are you going to see how they both fit on the court together, or what are you thinking about for those two?
Yeah, so guys get opportunities for a lot of different reasons. And the first opportunity for Malik and Mendez was when Carson went down, and they took advantage of that. And then now Isaac's hurt, so there's a lot of minutes to be had. Elvin hasn't played great lately, so we're going to play the guys that are playing the best basketball at this given time. And the one thing our guys know is that every day that can change. Today, if the guy gets in there, competes, and is great in practice, he's going to get a little bit more nod on Tuesday, and if he continues to do that on game day on Thursday, that young man's going to have a chance to play. So Mendez has stayed the course as a freshman. That's really hard to do. I give him a tremendous amount of credit. It wasn't going the way he wanted as a freshman, but he kept chopping wood. He kept working hard. He kept working hard. He kept working hard, and it started to pay dividends. And we need him to continue to shoot the ball at the pace he has.
What can you do to have some more rest on offense? I mean, he's bringing the ball up. He's facing the pressure all the way up. I mean, you got to be able to have somebody else to carry the ball up the court a little bit more.
Yeah, we thought when Carson came back that was going to happen, but then Isaac Hernandez went out. So we're just kind of limited, truth be told. To throw Mendez out there as a freshman at the point guard position, it's going to be difficult. Unfortunately, we made a couple turnovers. We were trying to get him off the ball at Eastern New Mexico to get a little bit of rest, and we turned it over 2 straight times. So it's just one of those things with the current situation we are with our bodies. He's going to have to just continue to weigh that load. It's not something we like, but it's just something we have to do at this time.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, thank y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
Whose Falcons also have a big series in terms of conference standings.
What do you guys want to talk about? Chiefs?
Yeah,
Go with the Chiefs?
we can talk about them.
Who'd you have in the Super Bowl?
Oh, my
I just wanted it to be a good game. I'm glad it was.
Yeah.
Well, I think for the first time in a long time, it actually was a good season.
Yeah, it was good.
Are you ready?
Cruising.
All right, cool. All right, Coach. Another game of the weekend where Alexis had 5 blocks down low. Can you just talk about the way she's been progressing defensively in the paint?
I think defensively, she does a really good job. She makes up for a lot of mistakes other people make. So most of her blocks are coming from, her teammates getting beat and she helping, or on maybe a second chance opportunity for the other team. I think she's really helped us out a lot there. I think this week's going to be extremely challenging for her because it's another team with a lot of size. And so Oklahoma Christian has 3 pretty solid, big post players. And as you can see, Alexis Kaufman is pretty much our size down low. So our ability as a group to play defense before they get the ball is going to be very important, and she's a huge piece to that. So defense off the ball is where I hope to see her grow later this week.
Coach, what were some of your takeaways just from this last week? What do you want to work on going into this week?
Well, I think, where we're at in this season is really well. It was a tough trip for us Thursday and Saturday, both very difficult games, both challenging games. I don't think there was any point in either game that we executed well collectively. But we're fortunate enough to have 2 games at home this week that are big time games for us. I do hope that we are extremely competitive. Now's the time where I hope we start really clicking. It's February, final 7 games, big 2 games at home, to where hopefully we can make up for a lot of the mistakes we've made, learn from them, and then execute a lot better for this week, which I do believe this week should be a lot more competitive for us.
Coach, you have 4 freshmen in the top 6 for freshman points in a season. How exciting is that for you to know the potential of these players, but also trying to make sure that you guys take care of business, each game at a time?
It's exciting. It's exciting because you as a coach, you look at the future, but you as a team, you want to be successful right now. So to see what they're capable of doing in spurts or in long moments, whatever that is great looking forward. And then it can also be a little frustrating when they don't show you that all the time, because they're very capable. Rory Carter had a tremendous first half at WT, just kind of was it for a little bit offensively for us. And to see her do that, and then, if and when that goes away for a period of time and she settles back, just really trying to instill her to be fearless, be that player that you're capable of being all the time. I think that's where our freshmen can grow in this season, is we're not playing you like freshmen. Most freshmen take a year and they have to figure it out. This is a rare group of freshmen, 4 out of our 5, and I think our 5th one will come along at some point in her career, hopefully right now, but definitely her sophomore year, to where they're given what is a great opportunity to play significant minutes together. It's exciting to see where that chemistry is going to go in next year, the year after that, and definitely by the time they're seniors, they should be really, really special. But to see their spurts right now, as a staff, we want to have that be put together. And I think right now, after the challenges that we've been through, with injury and just adversity, and part of that's our own with the lack of experience, we really need those 4 to play really well for us. And not having Jordan last week did hurt us. She will hopefully be back for both games this week, and just gives us a little bit more of ability to breathe. When she went down in the Commerce game, that 4th quarter was very difficult for us. Kayla was out with injured. Rory was fouled out, and then Jordan went down. And we really need all 3 of those players healthy to play and be competitive, and I think they will be for this week.
Now, Coach, last week you stood there and talked about how after halftime y'all struggled to get the ball rolling, and then against WT they go on a 9-0 run. What do you think is the main problem when it comes to your team out of intermission?
If I had to answer, we wouldn't have repeated it. We seem to talk about it a lot. As a group, we have to rally. I think what we're able to do is we go on runs late, and then the other team gets to be like, okay, well, we need to come out stronger than them, and we don't respond well. I do think starting the 3rd quarter is going to be really, really important for us. Starting it in a positive way. We seem to end quarters fairly well. Now we need to start after halftime. We try to come out early from halftime, stay late in halftime, have them shoot more, have them stretch more. I do think it's 100% mental on both teams though. But we have not done well in that, and hopefully we can do a lot better on Thursday. Yes?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Next we'll have softball coach Tiala Tagloa, whose Falcons winning 2-2 this weekend, including a win over number 7 Central Oklahoma.
Dang,
That's yours.
my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm done with it physically. You good?
Are you good?
Yes. Okay, Coach, first 4 games of the season. What were some of your takeaways just from these first games?
Honestly, I'm super proud of them. I think that, it's always tough. We're young overall. And I think it's always tough first weekend with nerves and everything. Obviously, an 8-hour bus drive down there is kind of rough. So we got there late Friday night, woke up Saturday and tried to get it going. We were a little slow against Henderson. I think that if we had the Henderson game, like that was game 2 or game 3, it would have been a different outcome. But ultimately, across the board, I'm just proud of them for their battle and the intensity and the resilience they showed throughout the weekend.
So how does it feel to have a girl like Abby on the mound that can shut out such a talented squad in Central Oklahoma?
I think Abby did a tremendous job. I think with Central Oklahoma, we knew that they're obviously number 7 in the nation, strong hitters, and the best thing about Abby is that she just kind of picks at you. She spins the ball really well, and so she's not going to overwhelm you with speed. And so when I told them, I was like, look, we've got to starve them. We've got to be able to be direct and then make them chase, and then when they start chasing, or they stop chasing, then go back and be direct. And so that was our game plan going in, and there was times where she kind of started to waver a little bit, but ultimately I think she threw 66 pitches for 7 innings. So, she did a phenomenal job. She did exactly what we wanted her to do, and she's a freshman transfer. So she's only been with the team for 3 weeks. So for her to come in and kind of get integrated really quickly and just have the faith that the defense would have her back, I think is tremendous.
Coach, how do you feel about starting so many games on the road to start off the season?
It's tough. I wish we had our first home day is not until February 25th. And I wish we had some home games, obviously earlier than that. But for our conference schedule this year, we're on the road a lot. I think we totaled it up and we're in hotels 20 nights. So that's crazy. But I also think it's going to prepare us to being able to adjust and play in different sites. So down in Houston, obviously the humidity and everything, those are things that we're going to have to face when we go to play conference teams. So I think being able to get out of our comfort zone, being so young, is going to help in the long run.
Coach, talking about getting out of your comfort zone, you get a top 10 win on the road. Getting a top 10 win in any part of the season is huge, but getting it so early in the season, what kind of confidence does that give you and your team?
I think, honestly, I probably have said this before, but I truly think this team is super talented and is the best team that I've had since I've been here. I think that we have speed, I think we have strength, I think we have pitching, I think we have hitting and defense. So well-rounded across the board, I think we have it. I think the biggest competitor we have is ourselves. And kind of not looking at the rankings, and I think being ranked 16th in the conference and looking at that and letting that define us. And I keep trying to tell them, hey, don't worry about that. It doesn't matter. It's just a number. It's like we know what we got. So I think I and them they're super excited just to be in this position so early. And so now it's a thing of just continue the grind and just keep working hard and don't let numbers or anyone else, limits on you, I guess.
To that point, Coach, you're going to go play 6 tough games this weekend in a really tough tournament. What are you hoping to take into it and out of that? Obviously you want to see the girls compete, but...
honestly, I want growth, because the first 4 weekends we went to Conroe, then we're going to Lubbock, then we're going to Tucson, back to Lubbock. I want to grow, and it's a tough pre-conference, and that's that's by design, because in our conference we have essentially 10 teams that are in the top 25. So with that, or having the top 25 between the Heartland and the Heartland schools and the Lone Star schools. So with that, we have to face the best of the best. And that's who we're going to face in conference every single day. There's no easy games, there's no days off. So I want to challenge them early, and I want them to be able to bounce back and kind of battle through it. And I think with the youth, we have to be able to kind of push them and see what the limits are, so that I don't want the hardest games to be in conference, So that's kind of what we're looking for, is just to push them and kind of see what we got and be able to depend on each other and just grow together. So by the time we hit conference, we're well-oiled machine.
After these first couple of games, is there anything you're still trying to figure out about your squad?
Yeah, I think we're starting to figure out, I still don't have like a starting 9. I think that that's a good place to be though, so I think that that's a good thing. There's multiple people that can play different positions, and so if you look at our starting 9 throughout the 4 games, we switched it around. We had people that had played corners, they were playing middles. We had people that were middle playing corners and, or catching or playing first, and so that's a good place to be. And so we're just kind of trying to figure out what the best mix is, and it's not a bad problem to have by any means. Yeah, trying to just figure out the best mix and get the best bats in the lineup, because we gotta score it away. So.
Cool.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
And last up, we had baseball coach Brian Reinke, whose Falcons defeated number 15 West Texas A&M this weekend in the first win in program history over West Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Right.
Coach, you started off the season with a win. How'd you feel about Friday's game?
I mean, we did everything right. I mean, and that's, when you can look at the stats through the weekend, you can look at everything else, but just, Trevor going out there, and we've sort of come to expect that of him, even though that was his first start here. Just everything he's done since he's been here. I thought him and Danny Juarez, did a great job on Friday. We hit well. Look, those guys for the whole weekend, that's probably about as good a pitching staff as you're going to see. They'll rival a lot of, non-25 Division I baseball staffs. You'll get to see a couple guys over 90. You're not seeing 8 guys over 90 in a weekend. So they, I thought Friday we did a really good job. And honestly, Saturday and Sunday, we have to have guys throw this time of year. Some of them, it's their first time on the mound, first time here in a real game, and you could see it. I think a lot of them in days 2 and 3 were hoping to throw strikes and get outs instead of expecting to and attacking the way that we really are supposed to do that.
Coach, you saw two of your pitchers get 12 strikeouts this early in the season. I don't know if there's really much you can take away from that, being it so early, but were there any takeaways from 2 really good pitchers playing really well early in the season?
You talking about Trevor and
Yeah.
Davey? Yeah. They did things the right way. They were, going back to what they expect of themselves. And I think it was really important for Danny because he was here last year, and I think he was in the category that sometimes he was more hoping to get outs instead of expecting to do things the right way. I think it showed a level of maturity on his part. And I love Trevor in the number 1 spot. I think he's a Friday night guy. He's not going to light up the radar gun, but ability-wise, he's going to do that for us all year.
Last week we talked a lot about the new schedule. How do you think your team responded to the first time experiencing these 3-game stretch?
I think it's pretty much similar to the way WT responded. We came out the first day and punched them in the mouth, and they came back the second day. And then it's all about making adjustments. I thought they did a better job on day 2 and 3 of making adjustments with their hitters versus our pitchers than probably we did. But you know what? The next time we play them, it'll be in the conference tournament. So we don't see them again for 14 weeks. So I'd like to play them again and meet them up in the conference tournament, and that'd be fun. But I thought they did a really good job of coming back from day 1. I think we did a really tremendous job of taking care of our business the first day, which I don't know, you guys don't know, but the day before or 2 days before opening day, we lost our starting middle infield. So we had some backup guys in there. We actually had an outfielder who played second base all weekend. Did a great job. I think he had 1 ground ball hit at him in 3 games. So dodged the bullet there a little bit, but he made some good plays on some pop-ups. So You know, we were talking about last night, like, how we felt at the end of yesterday's game. And I said, you know, if we got beat the first 2 games and won yesterday, we'd feel really good going into the weekend. So we have to take some positive out of that we were able to beat them. And like Tom said, first win against them since I've been here, and there are so many extra inning games we've lost against them, so many 1-0 games, 2-0 games. So, yeah, I thought we did a good job.
How do you get your guys to follow Trevor's lead going to the mound? I mean, we talked on Friday, and he says, I knew what I had working, and I could spot other pitches to where I could get them to chase what I wanted them to chase. How do you get your other guys to follow his lead?
You know, I think there are a few guys throughout the weekend who actually did do that. It's just when you've got at this point in the year, when you don't have guys stretched out and they can't go 7 innings, you know, some guys are in there for an inning and a third, 2 innings, and I think it was a combination of them first time on the mound for us, you know, and usually you're getting that out of the way against obviously a much lesser opponent, but you know, that's what the midweek work is for. I mean, guys that didn't throw this weekend or guys that threw minimal, they'll be throwing against our hitters tomorrow, and we need to see. I mean, we have some decisions to make for the weekend, and I mean, we have to base it on what their performance is during the week.
Yeah, how much more important are your bullpens now for you guys than they were probably last season at this time?
Simply because we have more guys. We're able to get more live work in. I think that'll help us, especially the hitters. I mean, you know, each one of our pitchers have been on the mound, had thrown 6 times between the day we started practice and this weekend. So there shouldn't have been the, whatever you want to call it, the trepidation factor that some of them guys have, because they've been on there enough. It should have felt right to them. So we have to get to the bottom of that as a staff.
Cool. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.